got your attention now, don't I?
This is the Black Rifle Coffee Podcast. Prepare to get caffeinated.
Hey, welcome to the Black Rifle Coffee Podcast. We've got the core four, as we like to call. Got myself, Jared Taylor, Matt Best, Logan Stark. So Logan Stark and I are in Salt Lake City. Matt, you're in Texas.
Great job. I'm in my studio, which happens to be in Texas. Really impressive.
He's in Texas.
I was
my name and my location. Oh my!
I was debating whether to say your actual location, like your address. I was going to give your address out.
Okay.
I was just going to dox your ass right here on our own show, just like
just straight up.
There you go. Yeah. And then Jared, I don't know. I never know where the fuck you are.
What? I'm in Washington State. It's beautiful out right now.
What are you doing in Washington State?
Hanging out with Corey's parents.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun.
It's fun. And shot a video with Grand Thumb. That was good. I played
that's
Ron
right.
Jeremy.
Oh, yeah.
You played
Of course
Ron
you
Jeremy.
did. Yeah.
I did. His big series that he's been, the attack of the Ron Jeremy targets. And now he's brought me back to life. And it was a mistake because now I'm after him and his guys.
The role you were born to play.
Yeah.
I think,
And you've met Ron Jeremy in the flesh.
Yeah.
And if you don't remember, he got like 7 plates of food on set. And it was impressive.
And now he's in jail. So it's it's done a whole, he's in jail forever.
For what?
I don't know, all
I knew
kinds of
just
stuff.
accusations about him being like mildly perverted. And I'm like, well, he's a porn star. So what the fuck do you expect? But what do you get arrested for?
Yeah. I think it's sexual assault or something.
Yeah.
Oh. Shocking.
Yeah. The weird thing is I haven't really kept my finger on the pulse of the Ron Jeremy life.
You're not up to date with your Ron Jeremy news? You don't have anything more important to do?
It's for Ron Jeremy's whereabouts.
I know who he is. I remember him. Like, I remember those plates of food that he would scoop up on the set of Range 15. And Matt's right. It was like seven turns on the table, dude. He was going back and
he
back.
Had a cup that he had put the soup in, and then he put a lot of other food in the soup that was all being like he had just stuff sticking out of his soup, and he was just drinking it.
That sounds made up to me.
No.
It was.
It's
real.
I believe
What would he
it.
put
Honestly,
in the soup?
I believe it.
Like goulash and like cornbread and stuff?
He just had everything in there. There was like meat and all kinds of shit hanging out of his cup, and he was just drinking.
That sounds like something you would do. Are you sure that's not what you did? And now you're saying
and sat next to me, and I had a taste.
Gonna take
It's like a meat mimosa, mimosa.
Yeah.
That maybe like one shot of vodka in there, and there's just like a sausage, maybe like a turkey leg, but a whole turkey leg. Just like you'd have to have a big cup, more like.
Gonna take
chalice.
like how you have a Bloody Mary and just do that for every meal.
I think I like that. I think that we should have Jared make a series of videos on the perfect Bloody Mary. And it's
then just food cups.
It's just a food cup. It's like a whole turkey. It's like a whole turkey. You're like deep frying the turkey first.
Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Jared does America. Food cups.
And since you're not drinking, there's no alcohol in it, and you're just essentially eating sausage. It would be like a crawfish boil, and you just put that into a fucking cup and call it Bloody Mary.
I mean, I got some salmon dip in the fridge right now. I've been, picking at a little bit this morning.
Oh yeah, did we start the vegetarian life yet?
Oh
no, I haven't done it. I said I was looking at it.
No, you said you were gonna do it.
I said I was unsure yet.
I don't fault you for not doing the vegetarian. That would be that's literally terrifying to me. I'll never fucking do that ever.
The biggest thing is you literally can't go anywhere. If you go on this diet, you can't go anywhere because you can't get food that matches this diet outside of your house.
That's not true.
No, we went to
there's vegetables everywhere.
Like McDonald's and other fast food establishments don't necessarily have a profound vegetarian menu.
I've not had McDonald's in over 110 days.
How do you know the days of you gone?
You have one of those
remember the
trackers
last
on
day
your
that I
phone,
had-
don't you?
Yeah.
It was on May
It's
10th.
McDonald's
actually.
Uber app, dude.
And I can vouch for it because I've had a tracking device on him for over 110 days.
In his colon?
It's true. Yeah. I put it in there earlier in the year.
It's not a tracking device. I just share my location with you so you can shame me if I am in the drive-thru.
That's true. Yeah. That is true. So how is Washington anyway? Is the COVID lockdown in Washington, is it like
Okay, so that
crazy?
started yesterday. But Sunday, it was still like it was scheduled. So Sunday, everything was fairly normal. There's a little bit increase in mask wearing than there is in Texas.
Right.
Like probably by like 30%. But then supposedly, I didn't really go anywhere yesterday, so I don't know. But today, starting Monday, statewide mask mandate. So I guess, I don't know. That's all they're doing. Statewide mask mandate.
Interesting. So anywhere you go, you have to wear it. So if you're
Even outside?
yeah.
I don't know if it's outside. Indoor. It's indoor mask mandate. I'm saying
Okay.
If you're indoors, you have to have a mask.
Got it. How come you don't have one right now? Because it looks like you're indoors.
You're indoors.
I built this though.
Okay.
So I get to set the, I could put it on. I got it on there. Right now.
No,
I'll just
please
go ahead.
don't. No.
We'll just do that for the rest.
No, let's not do. Your audio already sounds like you're in a wind tunnel.
That's just a pair of Corey's panties. That was even a mask.
Little memes I saw on the internet is the dude was like, it's obviously staged, but they're like, hey, you can't get in. His girl just takes off her panties and he puts them on his face and walks in. It was a solid move, dude.
Yeah. I've seen some awesome memes. I will say COVID has been really good for memes, and obviously the internet is king, but I watched this do-it-yourself mask video yesterday that somebody sent me, and it was awesome, dude. It was like all the bullshit you could try to use as a mask, and they're like taking socks off and cutting the foot off, then little holes in it, and then putting a sock on their face, and like taking their underwear off and putting their underwear around their face and just wearing it like in front with like the penis hole thing that you pull out, like right there. It was awesome because if you do those and then you take them out into public and wear them, that's even better, because then you're just making a mockery of the entire thing. Which, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys, I've got 2 more minutes of talking before you can talk, Jared. Is the smoke was so bad here in Salt Lake for the last couple of weeks because of the forest fires. However, the news came out and said, hey, everybody, your N95 mask does not protect you against the smoke in the air. Which I thought was hilarious, because I'm like, you can see that particulate, guys, just so you know, like you can see that. It's in the air. You can see it. And it doesn't protect you. Just throwing a couple things out there.
That's fucking great.
You know what I'm saying?
My favorite memes that are coming out are the ones of General Miley with pink hair.
Oh, yeah. Those are good.
Oh,
it's like doesn't end. They are relentless against him right now. They were great.
Is it Millie or Miley?
Millie. Yeah.
I like to call him Miley, like Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah,
General
I
Miley
like
Cyrus.
that. That's a better one.
Yeah, that's great. You came up with a really good meme the other day that we need to make.
I can't remember.
You said put a picture of Hunter Biden and Afghanistan and said, tell me you suck at pulling out without telling me you suck at pulling out.
Yeah. The Bidens are the worst pullout people ever. Yeah, basically. they fucked up a couple big ones there, boys. Just so you know. A couple big ones. Matt doesn't find any of this funny, by the way. He's just like,
no, I'm enjoying. I mean, anytime we can talk shit on Hunter Biden, I'm in. I want to that guy's a fucking lunatic. Like that, please.
Did you not
destroy him?
See the link I sent you to that video where the guy connects BRCC's
oh my God.
thing to Hunter Biden scandal?
Yeah. Did you see that? It was awesome. There's like some
the best.
These like basement LARPers that are trying to connect things. They're like Hunter Biden's laptop and BRC. And it's like, man, you guys are fucking stretching hard, man. Like it's like anything they can do. I mean,
Wait,
I chimed in on a couple of them. I chimed in. I was like,
well, it was 14 minutes.
Did the Knights of the Round Table LARPing group not get together this weekend? So you had to like make a fucking video? Like
it was 14 minutes. I mean, after he talked about how much he would fight people in public, like it was just like I tried to get through it, but it was just hard. It was just a really, really dumb video.
Yeah,
I'd say so. Wow. Okay. That's I feel like the internet has just made this like interesting transition, like in the post-COVID era of it's just like it's very entertaining, but it's just a cesspool of like bullshit information, and it's interesting to watch how it's like conforming into something different than it used to be.
Yeah, but how
transforming, but
like how it's hard to even differentiate what's being pushed that's fake and what is fake, and then what is actual humans that are actually putting this stuff out. It's fucking, you don't know, so you can't trust anything.
No, you can't.
No. Well, I think that's the interesting thing about the internet and the opinion-based channel, especially on YouTube. It's like you have a bunch of people spewing a bunch of their opinion, right, about anything. It's like the flat Earth scenario is, I think, a great one, which is you have a bunch of people on the internet that are talking about how the Earth is flat and there's a grand conspiracy to keep the information from, citizens of the world and you're like, you guys are fucking crazy. Like you think the entire scientific community has been in collaboration to keep this from the world in multiple universities, international organizations and scientific communities. And it's like, but you got a dude on YouTube with a GED that goes out with a fucking stop sign in his camera. And he's like, see, the world's flat.
Yeah.
And you're like,
I saw one the other day. It was like of the space station and it was the curvature of the Earth. And they like circled a portion of space and were like, space proven that Earth is flat. And it made zero fucking sense. And I was like, I got to look at the comments. And there was literally like 6 comments like, the world needs to see this. I'm like, it's a picture of the Earth, and the Earth is curved, but okay.
Yeah, but you're telling me after all these years, there's not one person that wanted to write the book about the whistleblowing conspiracy of...
I think we should become flat earthers. I think we become flat earthers and we write that book, and then we can just come up with the wackiest
That's
fucking
what I mean.
bullshit
Every time someone says there's this big conspiracy, you don't think one human would have cashed in on that yet? Like that was part of the
flat
big
earth
conspiracy?
books. Are there flat earth books?
I'm sure they're like the people
Coloring
that believe in this. Yeah, like the people that believe in this, I think they would have a hard time writing a book. To be fair, like I and this is me being very condescending, but if you're believing a pseudoscientist on YouTube and you're discounting 99.99999% of the entire professional scientific community that actually studies this every day with IQs above 120, man, you got a fucking problem. I mean, you have like a serious, you need some help. Like people need help. They really do. Like, does that sound too mean?
No, but
like,
I mean, you're on track with this because I've seen guys that start YouTube channels with an expertise of something they never did, something they never became an expert on, like survival. Like I'm going to start a YouTube channel on survival, but when you were in the military, you never attended any survival course.
No,
you never became an expert on survival, but because you did 3-4 years as an E4 in the Army, now I'm an expert on survival.
That stems the main question inherently with that situation is, do you fault the person that is not a subject matter expert in a certain area or field? And then Or do you fault the people that actually listen to the person that never did it? That's like me essentially claiming that I am a quantum mechanics expert and I start a YouTube channel and then I don't know anything. I'm doing algebra. And then people are like, quantum mechanics. Like, I don't really fault the person. I mean, it's fucking stupid, but
you're so passionate about black holes. Like, I
love black holes. I love all holes.
Yeah.
Like their gravitational pull from my penis, it just sucks them in. Wait, what are we talking? What kind of holes are we talking about?
Hold on.
Yeah, but that's something the internet has done. It has taken. It has given everybody the ability. All you have to do is say you confuse your opinion with some sort of weighted expertise, and that's what's really dumb about it. Is I don't see all these people rushing into surgical centers and commenting behind the shoulder of a brain surgeon saying, well, I wouldn't do it like that.
Hey,
that's what I do on my Sundays, actually.
I think we should start that YouTube channel.
Yeah, surgery troll.
Neurology.
Let's just start trolling surgeons. That's our new our new YouTube
Trolling
channel
surgeons.
where we're like, I don't know, I wouldn't use that there right now. I wouldn't put that guy completely under. I would get in a different anesthesiologist on this one.
I would watch
And
the
it's like,
shit out of that.
Want the 12 gauge scalpel? I would use the 14 gauge.
that's what I would do.
Well, if it was like angry cops going all drill instructor at the surgeon while he's like,
I like
brain surgery.
To take it back to Jared's point about like these survival, like all these survival guys. It's like they should have issued a YouTube channel with every one of those 550 fucking survival bracelets that they sold over the last fucking 10 years. They should have just been like, here, man, you got your 550 bracelet. You're going to be able to survive any storm, any place with this fire starter in like 100 yards of 550 that you wear at every point in time. It's like,
hey, I in my vehicle though, I always have duct tape and 550 cord because you can fix a lot of fucking shit with that. You really can.
You can keep a lot of you can keep a lot of mouths closed. You know what I'm saying, Logan?
Dude, I can make an impromptu tourniquet out of some 550 cord. I could, have string and do stuff with it.
Yeah.
I'm telling Disaster, you just said you're using 550 as a tourniquet.
But that's the whole joke, right? Like, what do they always say about that? Like a belt or what's the tourniquet joke on there? I don't know. Disaster's always trolling those guys.
The tourniquet is a huge thing.
Yeah,
the tourniquet wars.
It's all over the place.
It's the tourniquet wars. It's like, if you get down the rabbit hole in this stuff, like, as Jared and I and whomever else have been down the rabbit hole on some of this, like you're like, dude, you're just restricting blood flow. You can do that with a combination of things. Like, these are arms and tubes and you just got to turn it off. Like it's a hose. So, don't overthink it there, tough guy. Like there are other things out there that the people should be really concerned with. But who am I? I'm just a guy that spent my adult life in combat zones carrying things like that, but it's okay. It's not a big deal.
I mean, I like tourniquets. They're fun and they're hard to put on. Sometimes I just put on my cat tourniquet for fun.
I have 4 different fucking versions of tourniquets. Like I have 4 different versions. You know why? Because some of them are better for dogs. Some of them are better for kids. Some of them are better for like me because I use the cat tourniquet a ton. Yeah. Right. So it's like
I have a cat always in my truck.
And they're expendable items. Like I've gone through, I guess, a few times with the family, like, hey, this is how you do this. Because if they're in a traffic accident, like they have to be able to use it. Mike Glover, actually, Fieldcraft has, they just outfitted my truck with med kits. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't.
Oh, dude.
Nice. I need to buy that because I have my former Ranger one from North American Rescue and stuff. And I have that in my truck because I see probably an accident once every couple weeks in Texas. And normally they're not bad enough for any to stop. But occasionally you're like, oh shit. And luckily I haven't had to like save someone's life. But it's got a real thing that you're going to run into that. And you could be the difference between someone dying or living, I think it's really important for most everybody to have something like that on them.
Well, he's got this thing that you can mount on the back of your seat. So passenger driver, and it's got tearaway Velcro packets and tourniquets and med kits and things like that on the back of it.
Does he sell them?
Oh yeah. We sell this stuff. We sell this stuff in our Black Rifle Coffee stores.
We do now, yeah.
So I didn't know they had the actual ones built for the vehicles. I mean, I've looked at Mike's stuff. He does great work, but
yeah, And they outfitted like my entire truck with this stuff. I was up there the other day. He's coming down today too, and they put it all in there. And it's really, really cool. And it's really easy to get to as far as like being able to field dress something, or not dress, apply in the field. So it's cool. If you should go check it out because it's fucking really cool.
Thing about Mike. Interesting thing about Mike is he's been to a SEER course.
Well, Mike is a survival expert. The difference is he's a command sergeant major, retired command sergeant major, or sergeant major, one of the two. He's been to multiple survival schools and he eats, breathes, and sleeps this stuff as his profession after he got out. Like, if I have a survival question, I go to Mike. Like, I'm like, hey, man, what do you think about this? Like, because Mike knows all the things about, like, he's up on so many different things that you want to discuss, whether it's like field craft and you want to go like down the rabbit hole on starting fires with multiple different items, or you want to build an improvised shelter, you want to field dress an animal, whatever. Like, he knows all that shit. Like, I roast coffee. Like, that's what I do as a profession. Like, but I'm not going to go to like, Joe Schmuckatelli, like former E4 Cav Scout, and be like, hey man, what do you do? It's like, what? Like, what the fuck does he know? Like, or you could go to Mike. Be like, yeah, hey Mike, what do you think of this?
Unless he grew up in the backwoods, right? And he's like one of those Louisiana boys that are just fucking crazy and they think that you should not wear sandals like out in the wilderness because it makes you weak. Those guys are tough.
Well, no, I'm not discounting the people that have taught themselves how to do it. Dude, there's some badass people out there. I mean, like, look at, what was that dude's name? Les Stroud, right?
Survival Man.
Like, that guy's legit.
Dude,
like,
that Primitive Technologies YouTube channel, have you guys watched that at all?
I don't know.
I absolutely have.
Oh,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, the guy that digs out all the elaborate caves and shit.
Builds all these things. Yeah. It's the fucking greatest.
Mm-hmm.
That's some patience, though, to use those tools.
I'm just wondering, is there like a spot in the Philippines that if you stumble on, it's like 600 of these elaborate shelters that they've built?
Probably.
So.
Yeah, that sounds like a very pleasant place to visit.
I would go there with you.
Mm-hmm. When the Delta 8 is
we could. Wait, the Delta 8, like the marijuana variant or like COVID?
Oh, Delta variant. Yeah, I don't know. I forgot.
Yeah, I think you mixed weed and COVID. That's okay. I mean, it's totally cool.
That's the next variant in Washington State. It's just going to be a COVID marijuana variant. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me. I'm reluctant to go to Seattle at any point in time, or that Seattle area just in general. Like,
has anybody
avoided
mixed weed and coffee yet? Is there a THC caffeine?
There is. Yeah.
Interesting.
If you go to these dispensaries now, like in where it's legal, I mean, they have everything. It's like root beer, nitro cold brew, infused. I mean, the coffee usually, I've heard, tastes like shit. But yeah, they have everything.
So did you know that they are completely eradicating some cancers with THC therapy, but it is hard THC therapy. We're talking 1 gram of THC a day for 60 days.
I don't know what that means.
1 gram?
I don't know what that means.
Like
10 milligrams
a gummy
gets you high.
is 10 milligrams.
What?
Now,
Whoa.
Yeah, so 1 gram of concentrated, they're called Phoenix tears, which is the oil, the THC oil. But a 60-day run of this has been completely ridding people of certain cancers.
Is this real or is this like
this sounds like some flat earth shit?
I've been down in Mexico with a lot of this this is what I've been doing the last week and a half. Like, and listening to some of these dudes, these doctors that came from Canada and explaining some of this stuff to us, we're like, oh my God.
I'm more curious about what is 1 gram of THC do to you mentally and physiologically. Yeah. Like, I feel like you would just be like,
you're in
like
bed.
Spinning.
Yeah,
like
you would be
like,
comatose.
Like,
you wouldn't be able to do a damn thing.
It's almost out of body experience. Like one of the guys there had done it, and he said that he was able to listen to music in multiple layers at once. Like, so he was isolating every track in the music, the drums, the bass. This is like, but you're in bed when you do this, but it's a 60-day regime.
Yeah, you couldn't fucking walk around on a gram of THC.
No, Balls does that before he comes into work every day.
Yeah, right.
So he's just...
He prefers the 500 milligram anal suppository. That's his way to go.
2. He doubles down.
2 gram. But eradicating cancer, like just gone.
Well, they have some really interesting therapies. I've had to go do some research because I have a variant of Lyme's disease called the alpha gal variant, which makes me allergic to red meat. And so I went on antibiotics for a couple months. Everybody's kind of heard me talk about this, but they have some interesting therapies that they're
Lyme's, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're dosing really high doses of like IV vitamin C, and part of that has been proven to combat against some cancers and some variants of Lyme's disease. So I'm kind of teed up to do some alternative therapies.
Have you heard of biocidin, Evan?
No, I don't know.
I'll share with you after this. So my cousin, who I haven't seen in probably 20 years, but she came over to my dad's house yesterday. She has Lyme's disease, and I can figure out what variant it is. But she had some weird effects, like gaining fat around her stomach. I don't know specifically, but she said this like oral version. It's like a little dropper that whatever she got in the biocidin, I think it is. I don't know anything about it, but she said it was an absolute game changer. And she's like on the road to recovery after, because she spent a year dealing with Lyme's disease and just been fucking miserable.
I've got some for you too, because they were talking about this down there about they treat people that have the long-term version of Lyme's a lot. So they have something that they've been doing with these guys that I could give you as well.
And then also, you probably shouldn't take your doctor advice from me and Jared, but we're here to help.
No,
yeah, we are here to help.
Jared, I think you guys should start a new YouTube channel called Medical Advice from Jared and Matt.
Medical advice from non-doctors.
Where you just troll surgeons for doing shoddy work, and you guys just
saying you cure COVID by bloodletting, and you can do it with razor blades or leeches. It's your user preference.
Yeah, or high doses of THC seem to solve a lot of problems. I would imagine.
We should do a show, and one of us can do the 1 gram droplet and just see what happens.
I mean, sure, but not me.
Yeah, I feel like Jared would do it.
I mean, I do think we should try this.
Yeah, we absolutely should.
No,
I'm all good. I'll sit this one out.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I'll sit this one
Logan?
out.
We'll interview you guys. How about that?
I would do it.
I would love to do a show where we have Roger and my dad take high doses of like psilocybin just to see what happens to them. 70, because Roger's what 78.
Pandora's boxes, dude.
No, I think you go the opposite way. I think you go at about 2.5 grams and then just record their conversation. So just get them a little bit over the hump, so they're just talking.
That would be interesting.
Did you watch the Fantastic Fun Guy documentary?
No, I haven't got a chance. I'm going to do it tonight.
Okay, so it's incredibly fascinating and a really cool visual journey, but it's kind of centric around Paul Stamets, who's gone on Rogan a handful of times. And this dude stuttered for his youth up to like 15 years old.
He took 6 years of speech therapy, like education-based speech therapy like 5 days a week, 6 years.
And he found some mushrooms. He took way too many. Not sure the exact dosage, but I think it was like estimating like 10 grams worth of mushrooms. It was like sending him.
There's a ceiling though. Like you can only, and we believe that it's between 9 and 11, because I've done 14.5 in one sitting. But the ceiling, it only can go so high.
Yeah. So he went to the ceiling. There was no more effect that it could have had. And he said that after he kind of entered into this like vortex of a different dimension. He just kept saying, stop stuttering now, stop stuttering now. And he said it thousands upon thousands of times in a row. And the next day he woke up and his stutter was gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
because
I believe it.
Yeah, I don't know if the science is all the way in to back this up, but it essentially like can plow your brain. So if your like neural pathways are a 2-track, and the more you think a certain way, the deeper those 2-track gets, that amount of psilocin comes in and it just plows your brain and allows you to create new neural pathways.
It's amazing.
I know fucking nothing about this, so I'm just listening.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, it also cured cancer for his mom too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I saw somebody that went
Watch
through
the documentary.
I saw
What's it called?
a guy go through.
Fantastic, fun guy.
Yeah, fantastic. Do the Ibogaine run and then come out not needing reading glasses or his glasses anymore. Like it fucking.
Wow. That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, when you start fucking with the brain and you start giving the brain gas, I mean, it's just going to do what it wants. It's like,
Not
this is
actual
broke, let's fix it.
petroleum. Not actual petroleum. You're not talking about gas.
Not
You
petroleum.
put,
Yeah.
you put gas in your brain?
No.
I mean, that's like sniffing some paint cans. I mean, it gets you high, don't it?
Ew. Man, that just sounds horrible.
Sounds like it could kill a lot of brain cells. I don't need to lose any more.
I always remember when I hear this, I always remember an episode of Cops that I watched when I was probably like in high school or something like that, where they were making a raid and there was a guy in there and he had like paint all over his face because he'd been huffing paint. And the dude, you kind of feel bad because the dude was functionally retarded because of how much paint that he had huffed for years.
No.
And the cops just kept on talking about it. Like, yeah, this kid used to be like a normal kid and he started doing this and now he's basically, having to wear a diaper. I'm like, wow, that is a hard way to it's a hard road to travel. When you take that turn, you're like, you know what? Let's do this paint thing. Sounds pretty cool. It's a hard road to travel, man.
Yeah.
It's a hard road.
Well, what's the TV show? It's like My Dirty Habit or something.
My Strange Addiction.
Yeah. What is it?
My Strange Addiction.
Yeah, that shit's fucking weird because you wonder like how someone, like one of the ladies eats fucking dirt. Like she loves it. She eats dirt. She buys like red dirt and eats it. And you're just kind of like,
Glass.
what started doing that to be before it came an addiction? Like the hump, like to get there. I mean, I get it that it's addictive and it becomes something a part of your life, I guess.
Right.
But very interesting to see how weird addictions people have out there. It's fucking like eating dirt. How do you start that? You're just playing out there as a kid and you're like, I've eaten dirt before. It don't taste good. I did it in the recent video.
Yes,
Yeah?
you did.
That was more mud, but hey.
Yeah.
I really like the coffee enema episode.
Yeah,
when
dude,
the
that
married
was
couple
crazy.
get addicted to sticking.
They were doing like a
tube up
whole
their
cup of
butts.
coffee or a pot of coffee in their ass a day, right?
Yeah, I think
A day?
3 times a day they were
Yeah.
putting coffee up their butt.
So what is it? Like I've heard of this. People have DM'd me about this, and I'm always just like,
People DM
dude,
you
stop.
about coffee enemas?
Yes, like because they want to know. They're like, hey, have you heard about this? Is this good? I'm like, dude, don't put coffee in your butt.
Caleb, did you know with Black Rifle Coffee's Coffee Club subscription, you can get fresh coffee shipped to you every month? What? You don't even have to go to the store. Whoa. You don't even have to leave your bed. What? Wow. How did you get in here?
You might want to go ahead and join the Black Rifle Coffee Club subscription before one of these guys shows up at your place.
Like, don't do that.
Generally, rule
Don't
of
put
thumb
coffee in
is
your
just,
butt.
Let's just not put things in the butt, like unless you really want to.
Yeah, like just a general rule of thumb, like keep the stuff out of there. Like don't. I'm just.
That's really funny. Let's keep this stuff out of there, man.
Yeah, man. Like,
Keep stuff out of your butt, man.
again, why are you asking me? Like, that's
But
the other
it's-
thing.
but
It's
it's
like,
like
why are
the
you
same thing.
DMing me?
What if it's great though? What if it like really helps people?
There's a few things. There's a few things in life that I can kind of like say right here on the show, and I can go on record. Putting coffee in your butt is probably not a good thing, and maybe just like change the diet. Maybe like eat a banana now and again. Or maybe try carnivore first. Or
maybe eat a banana. Don't put coffee in your butt.
like eat a banana. Don't fucking put coffee in your butt. Like, come on, man. Like, there's a lot of stuff.
Your solution is eat a banana.
I'm just saying, like, apple a day keeps the doctor away. But I've never heard
like having a carb. Yeah, I've never heard a coffee enema a day keeps the doctor away. That is not a saying that we can substantiate.
This is something that has been, thousands of years, from the Horn of Africa into Yemen and all these different things, like all through Yemen, and then it has it's kind of branched off internationally, like roasted coffee. Rest assured that humans have never evolved to put a finished product coffee in their butt.
Maybe that's
not something you evolved to do.
The next step of human evolution.
Yeah. See, Logan, that's what I'm talking about.
What happened to like this? Don't knock it until you try it.
Hold on, I'm gonna hydrate real quick.
So Jared's gonna do a gram of THC. I'm gonna do a coffee enema, and we're gonna do it during a show.
What did the kids do? Weren't they butt chugging vodka? Like, weren't they doing butt chugging vodka and dying from alcohol poisoning?
Well, I heard. Some girls would soak their tampons in vodka.
Cough syrup?
No, vodka.
They're butt chugging cough syrup. That was fucking people.
Talk about destroy your liver in a day.
Do you guys not remember that fad where teenagers were shitting in a jar and then covering it with plastic and letting it ferment, and they would huff it and that would get them high?
No. What?
You said that like a casual, dude. Do you remember when teens would shit in there and then ferment it and then get high off their own feces? You guys don't remember that? No, never heard.
That was a thing. They had to tell people to stop doing it.
Stop smelling your fermented shit.
Well, it's really economical. Like, it doesn't cost anything to do that.
It was like a methane high. Like, oh God.
So.
I fucking can't.
This is like the same crowd that's going to be talking about flat Earth. It's the same crowd. They're like, I'm going to shit in a jar and I'm going to breathe this to get high. And the scientific community is in a grand conspiracy to cover up this flat Earth thing. Like, it's the same fucking crowd. Like, it's the same people.
Like, I just like the extent of like how people go to get high. I mean, there's already like weed and what?
It's called Jenkem.
Jenkem?
Yeah, Jenkem. It was in the mid 1990s. It was a popular street drug.
It's not a street drug.
You'd put a balloon. You'd shit in a mason jar and put a balloon around the thing, and the balloon would fill up, and then you'd take a hit. Yeah.
Do you think now? Do you think that there was actual drug dealers that were manufacturing that? So they were taking laxatives and just shitting all day as much as they could to make methane-filled balloons and sell them on the street?
I commend people. No. Come on. No, man.
Oh, man, that's dirty. Oh, dude, that's fucking nasty.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
Jared was showing us a picture of a cup with feces in it and a balloon full of methane.
I commend the engineering mind, right?
Do you?
I commend it.
Yeah.
I just wish it was applied to a different circumstance. Maybe like
exactly.
Maybe hey, you've exemplified resistance in in your desire. You're clearly able to push through some barriers on that.
Yeah, resilience. Right?
Yeah, resilience. And then you're committed. Like, you've got resilience. You're committed. You're kind of a scientist because you got like a jar and a balloon. Now all you need is a fucking YouTube channel.
That is pretty good. Yeah, like I could maybe like try to build like a more structurally sound bridge, or I could shit in a cup and get myself high.
Wow.
Okay.
I just imagine somebody at the DEA just being like, "Are you serious? Are you serious?"
At what point was somebody in a back alleyway and this guy's like, check it out, I've got Molly, I've got some weed. And the guy's like, no, man, you got any Jenkem? He's like, actually, I got a little balloon full right here.
I got 2 grams of Jenkem, dude, straight out the asshole, bro.
Oh, yeah, check this out. This stuff is potent. Give it a live.
But now you should Google this. I wonder if the product of the feces, so meaning what it like the diet associated with the outcome of what feces it is, changes the type of high, right? Like, do you have a high protein diet? Does it like emit more gas, or is it you want to go carb heavy? I'm curious.
Dude, you got that vegan Jenkem?
I would do a taurine diet. I would go
I need that grass-fed Jenkins.
You got the Kyle. It's just burritos and Monster. It's called the Kyle.
It's like I have a high taurine diet.
Yeah.
Yes, I need a lot of taurine in my Jenkem.
We went off the rails.
This is turning into an incredible episode.
Yeah, I like that. This is my kind of show.
Yeah, I love this. This is my kind of show. What else is there going on? There's nothing really going on in the news right now, is there?
No, not at all.
There's nothing really going on.
I watched the news this morning, and it's just, dude, it's just propaganda at this point. Like, that all morning for over an hour, they didn't show anything about Afghanistan, but they did show that the WNBA visited the White House. And that was a lion's share of the news report. Like, it is just so overtly like, you guys are so fucked. Like, and you're not even hiding it. And, vaccine got FDA approved on Monday. It was like, so.
Sure. Like, I think it's interesting. Well, I keep saying that, but the thing that came up yesterday, I got a bunch of texts from people that I know that were saying the president wants businesses to force employees to get vaccinated. I'm like, what? Like, I'm not going to tell my employees to do anything like that. I'm not going to be like, yeah, you got to do this. Like, that's fucking insane. Like, that's their choice. If they want to, great. If not, like, okay. Like, I think it's a little bit insane for the president of the United States to say he wants businesses to force their employees. Like, it's really unconstitutional.
It's real weird.
It's really weird. Well, I think the next thing that's going to be coming is government forced vaccinations, because they've already done it through the entire. Well, the other thing that was out last week was they asked the White House public affairs person, I forget her name, Jen
Psaki.
Yeah, they said, "Well, is everybody in the White House vaccinated?" And she's like, "No, there's no way for us to tell." I'm like,
is
what?
the White House requiring vaccination? And
she's like,
said,
no,
not at this time.
So
CDC staff.
What?
The CDC staff are not required to be.
But you want businesses to do something that what? Not that I would give a shit whether or not the administration or the government is doing something. I just think that it's a little bit hypocritical either way. And it's really unconstitutional. Like, it's really
that's
fucked
the
up.
problem.
Yeah.
It feels like they're just saying shit to see what will happen. It just fucking throwing shit at the wall.
Well, I think they're trying to I think they're trying to pull the media off Afghanistan too. So I think they're throwing things out that they know are politically controversial and that they can appease the base. So when you say things like that to the base of, we'll call it the more left portion of the United States, that's going to get them like super fired up. It's going to be controversial. It's going to be on the news, and the news cycle will pick that up versus staying on topic, which would be, hey, this withdrawal from Afghanistan is a complete and utter failure and it's a shit show. So, and it makes the administration look really bad, and as it should. And they're just trying to, I think they're just trying to throw anything at the wall that sticks for the news cycle to pick it up versus focusing on quite possibly the biggest shit show we've seen, I think, in the last 10 years. I mean, well, I would say I'd have to rewind all the way back to those dum-dums in Iraq that fired the entire Iraqi army and they created the insurgency. So that's like Rumsfeld and all these other fucking dummies that were making really incredible decisions to do that. So that would be 2004, right? So I think this is probably the biggest catastrophe politically, and also the biggest foreign policy mistake that we've probably made.
I don't disagree with you. I think some of that is like taking the media coverage off Afghanistan, and hopefully everybody just kind of forgets it amidst this like COVID hyperbole. And then in 2 years, when re-election or 3 years comes along, right? It's like, oh, I pulled us out of war. And that's going to be the narrative that it was some massive success for American foreign policy, and Biden did it, which it's an absolute failure on all accounts. So that's the plan, I think, is they're going to use this as as leverage to be like, look, I'm an anti-war president. I got us out of war, even though, fucking stupid.
Yeah. JP Sears' video was fantastic.
Oh my
by the way.
God,
But
dude. He
can do an
killing it.
interview and be like, nope, there's nothing we could have done differently.
Yeah.
Like, really, you
That was a
can't
great
even
video.
think of one thing
Right.
that we could have done a little bit better.
No. I like how he got combative during an interview.
That was like 4 or 5 days ago, man.
With Stephanopoulos, and was like, that was like 4 or 5 days ago. Like,
what a fucking idiot. The guy falling off, that's like 4 or 5 days ago. Come on. And I was like, this is real.
Wow.
This is real.
This
is real. Okay.
This is real. I keep coming back to this. Like, everybody should be so disappointed in the political leadership. Like, it's just like a reoccurring fucking car crash that we just gotta be forced. Like, it's like we're forced to watch these idiots continue to make horrible decisions with our money and our lives, right? It's just like really fucking bad decisions. I was thinking about this, where watching the State Department and I don't know how the Pentagon, how much responsibility the Pentagon has for this, because I think there are a lot of fucking really smart people at the Pentagon. This withdrawal has been managed by the State Department and politicians, essentially. And they have fucked this up so badly. I think what I was thinking about was these were the same people that were responsible for sending us to war. They're making these decisions. So we're seeing political decisions play out in short time. So this is magnified. So we're seeing 20 years of really horrible foreign policy and bad political decisions being made in a very short time frame. But really what we're seeing is their actual decision-making process. We're seeing the reality of their intellect play out in a very short window. We've seen it over the last 20 years, but it's stretched out, and we can't really flush out the strategic and tactical differences between bad and good, and whether or not, the border of Pakistan.
Right? I mean, the narrative was weapons of mass destruction to convince the Iraq invasion. Then you had the insurgency was that. It was a war, and you focused on the battles, not the reasons for the Sunnis and Shias switching sides a lot. So there was no like really internal coverage unless you had like went and looked for it. It wasn't on national news, I think, the first part of that.
And you could debate it. You could debate the two, and you'd have these two sides, and it's very complex. And, as a guy that participated in both of those wars, I can say, the Iraq war was a fucking complete shit show. When I say shit show, we could go in and define, and I've said it multiple times on multiple different shows, the people that were in charge of that war, meaning the political elite. And when I say the political elite, I'm saying like our elected officials, the lawmakers, and then the top brass of the political appointed Pentagon. They're idiots. Like, they are full-blown, self-righteous idiots. There are very few of them that we actually need to keep in power. Very few. So the faster we can just kind of like flush those people out of the system, get them out. And, Milley's a great example of that, right? He's 3 weeks ago or a month ago, he's talking about his suggested reading list and how critical race theory is, he thinks it's actually really good. And you're like, hey, dude, why don't you concentrate on the fucking guys that are still deployed and actively engaged in combat around the world versus whether or not your soldiers should buy into a socialist scheme Like maybe you should try to fucking figure that out versus like, oh, well, I'm going to put on I love those memes, by the way. I'm going to put on my lipstick and dye my hair fucking orange to appease the administration to keep my job. It's like, maybe you should just really focus on how the fuck we're going to like do an organized withdrawal and really step into the shoot on that versus what your suggested reading list is and how you can play pander to AOC's voters. I don't know. That's my rant.
Jack Carr wrote a really good article.
He did.
Kind of surmising a whole bunch of stuff, but we've spent $2.2 trillion in Afghanistan, $6.5 trillion in interest.
Mm-hmm.
All of that's financed on debt. So your money, listeners, is directly funding all of this. And we haven't won a conflict. And he gets into this. It's really interesting. Ever since 1947, when we changed the War Department to the Defense Department. And he's got this really good quote in there. It's precision in language reflects precision in thought. And we're just promoting this ideology where you can it's just okay to fail upwards. Like as long as you just hang around and put up with bullshit, you can just continue to be promoted.
Jesus.
Yeah, I saw that article. I haven't read it yet though.
This could be, you start thinking about the nature of the United States right now. With all the lockdowns, with the COVID shit, we've starved the public. We have a lot of people out of jobs. We have a lot of people not making money. We have an economy that's very unstable because of housing and this wave of the domino effect of renters not being able to pay and mortgages not being able to made. All this instability going on around us. That keeps everybody kind of out of what's going on over there. Jesus, if Iran fucking rolled into Iraq right now and we have our mess in Afghanistan, we would be right exactly where Russia or China would want us right now because we've got a fucking disaster in Afghanistan. You'd have something kicking off in our other theater that we just picked up and fucking rolled out of that we didn't really have any clear goals with. And then even back home, everybody's in a divide right now on one side or the other saying this is bullshit and you guys are fucking with us, or no, this is deadly and we all need to stay in our homes and blah, 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 blah. Like, I saw a great meme that said, how the hell did the Taliban and country during like
you cut out there for you guys too?
Yeah, you cut out.
Yeah,
say it again.
It was the one where how did they take over
the Taliban? How did the Taliban retake a country during a global pandemic? Like weird.
We turned over 600,000 weapons, 75,000 vehicles, and 200 aircraft. They're now one of the best supplied forces in the world.
Yep.
Wrap your head around that for a second.
I was talking to that point the other day. It's fucking insanity. With no plan. Like, we're not even having discussions of like, do we just bomb the fuck out of some of this inventory? Like we're not even, there's no plan. It's like, everything's fine. We're just going to be out before the Taliban say we got to be out. I'm like,
yeah,
we're a bunch of fucking pussies.
Yeah, don't worry. The director of the CIA talked to leader of the Taliban yesterday. So they're sorting it out. It's wonderful.
Yeah, don't worry. We're talking directly with a trusted organization, guys.
That is actively chanting death to America, holding American weapons, and then mocking historic images of American history. It's fucking great, dude.
Yeah. I hope this continues to be replayed over and over to the point where people will participate in their elections. That's what I really hope. I hope we just learn from this in the context of it. This has to be rubbed in the faces of every fucking politician in the United States over the course of the next 2 years. Like they have to eat this shit sandwich over and over and over again. But to your point, Jack's point, people continue to fail up. They continue to be promoted. They continue to get more responsibility. And then this is what we see. We see trillions of dollars. Like, you think about that. How many $1 trillion did we say? $6.5 trillion
in interest.
Yeah. So And they retook the country that we had for 20 years, trillions of dollars, thousands of American lives. They retook the country in less than a week. So I used to talk about this when I was actually in Afghanistan. And we used to, be cruising around and doing what we did. And I used to say, this is a really expensive pause. That's what this is. This is a really expensive pause. In both blood and treasure, it's fucking a massive expense to us. I used to talk about it and I used to really hope that I was fucking wrong. I used to really hope that I was wrong, which was this was one of the largest redistributions of American taxpayer dollars, wealth in American history, from the taxpayer to the military industrial complex. I used to really fucking hope that I was wrong. When I would talk about it on previous shows, and talk about how big of a fucking waste of lives and money some of this was, my deep internal hope was, God, I hope I'm fucking wrong. Like, I really hope this has been of strategic interest to the United States in that we're doing the right thing in this country for generations to come. And then to have all of that, just like have one guy just pull the handle and flush all the fucking trillions of dollars and the thousands of lives, just flush it down the fucking toilet because he wants a political statement. We withdrew, which, by the way, to clarify, I am 100% for getting our troops out of Afghanistan. 100%. I think I have to be really clear and precise in my language, which is there is a way to organize a withdrawal out of a country that is dignified for the service and the sacrifice that our veteran community and the taxpayer dollars have made in Afghanistan. And this is not the way you fucking do it.
Yeah, that's this.
Yeah. Wow.
And the people that have been in charge of this, they got to fucking own this around their necks. Congress, they went fucking high order over, the knuckleheads that fucking made entry into the Capitol building. We went congressional, investigations. We want this, we want that. And it's like, okay, dude, you had a bunch of crazy people. I'm not discounting it, but you had a bunch of crazy people do something that is directly against 99% of the people that actually believe in conservative values. They did something. Got it. But now, where are all the Congress? Where's Congress? Where's our political officials going? We want fucking heads. We want heads to roll, political heads to roll for this. Where are the investigations? Where are the people asking for resignations? Not one resignation so far. Can you guys fucking believe this? They're not even
talking about it. He was fucking around with the WNBA yesterday.
Yeah.
All day.
Not one resignation.
Giving a speech.
Every one of us in the veteran community should be galvanized in our, like, what I would like to see is a fucking massive protest, like literally in Washington, D.C. from the veteran community, because this flies in the face of every person that has dedicated time, their lives, like our adult lives given to this. And it's like, move on to the next thing. Let's get the WNBA in here. Come on, guys.
Couldn't have done anything different.
Couldn't have done anything different. That was like 4 days ago. I always knew these people were idiots, by the way. I always knew they were idiots. I really hope they weren't. I always knew they were fucking idiots. Like, I always knew they were self-serving, fucking bumbling fools. They just validated it.
Well, that's
here we are.
Here we are. And who's this? What else you got in here? You got the new director of the CIA, which is William Burns. He's a...
Oh, it was kind of just, it was more of the same kind of this conversation we were having at the beginning, as far as this different dialogue that's coming out in mainstream media that differs from what's actually happening on the ground, to the point where you can't even believe it. Like, there's an article on MSN about the CIA director meeting with the head of the Taliban. And there's a quote in there. It says, "To date, the Taliban have allowed the evacuation effort of Americans and Afghanis to proceed largely unimpeded." Which, if you read the stuff that we've put out on Coffee or Die, is not true at all. Jericho Denman is on the ground over there right now. And says there's constant gunfire. The Taliban are printing and passing out and selling fake visas to refugees. They're letting masses of people approach the perimeter that aren't entry points to cause a clusterfuck to happen in various areas around the airport. Like, they're fucking with us on a massive scale. But yet our mainstream media says, oh yeah, they're just letting us get out of there unimpeded. Like, how are you writing this stuff? And
now
putting
all
that
of a
out to
sudden
the
they
American
got educated and organized overnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on top of that, it took China 48 hours before they were sitting down? Because they're just going to move in. And all of that infrastructure that we've built over the last 2 decades is immediately going to go to China's benefit so that they can use all of that to tap into the mineral resources in Afghanistan. And it's going to further hinder us moving forward. Like, the downside of this is just tremendous.
100% agree with that.
Well,
yeah, the downside of this is tremendous. I don't know where we go from here, to be fair. Like, I really don't. I think that, and I'm not looking at it as, I think that it's one of those problems that we have to solve as a nation. But accountability needs to flow up. It needs to flow from the voters to the elected officials and then down. Like, accountability has to be, like, we have to request and demand accountability from these dudes. These people, these dudes.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was a fun little rabbit hole for us to go down.
Yeah.
What else is going on? Anything?
Living the dream. How's Salt Lake City? Good? Great.
Air quality was great yesterday for the first time in like a month. So that was nice.
I remember last time I was here, Salt Lake literally put out like a notification to the people here, like, hey, the air quality is so bad, don't exercise.
Yeah, do not go outside. There's staying home mandates. Like, don't go outside. Yeah.
Is that from fires or the inversion or both?
Both.
It was both. It was a
Yeah.
combination.
Fires
in
and
the
the
valley.
inversion. Damn.
Yeah. So you have smoke that just sits here in the valley for extended periods of time. It's fucking nasty.
Well,
I wish I was back in San Antonio.
It's nice
Should
here.
move back.
A beautiful sunny day. It's hot as fuck though.
Well,
But
all right,
cool.
guys. Shit. Great episode. See you guys.
Yeah,
hell
super
yeah.
fun.
That concludes today's training. Any questions?